G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. I do hope you're having a fantastic day. With that said, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the barbie, and let's get right into it. Posted by user Lady Savings, titled, Am I the Asshole? My husband accused me of financial infidelity. Husband, 33 male, and I, 33 female, have been married for 10 years, together since college. Ever since starting out, we have made financial security a priority and have been able to achieve that, albeit with some good luck along the way. We both have good jobs, paying close to $200K each. Student loans were paid off within a few years. Both went to state schools with some scholarships, so didn't have a lot of debt to begin with. We live in a house that I inherited from my grandmother, no mortgage, and don't have any credit card debt. We max out our 401ks and currently have 18 months of expenses in our emergency fund and are still adding to it. Our cars are both paid off and should be good for another 5+ years, and we don't have any credit card debt. We manage our finances in a hybrid manner, joint accounts for bills and savings, and separate accounts for our fun money. We each get a pretty generous monthly allotment. The fun money is strictly for our individual expenses, hobbies, clothes, outings with friends, etc., and not for things like date nights, vacations, or larger joint purchases like household appliances and repairs, which come out of our joint account. We also agreed that if either of us gets any bonuses, or any side hustle income, those will go into our individual fun money accounts, unless the funds are needed for a large expense, such as a major home repair. In terms of the fun money, my husband is much more of a spender than I am due to expensive hobbies, in particular golf and collecting sports memorabilia, and he's also more into designer clothes, which is fine. It's his fun money. On the other hand, my hobbies are a lot less expensive: running and working out, reading and baking. In general, I'm more introverted, and a great time for me is tea with a friend at one of our homes, with homemade pastries. I have also been getting back into gaming lately after setting it aside for much of the past decade while building my career. After realizing I had more than enough in my fun money account, I decided to overhaul my gaming setup and got myself a new PC, desk, and gaming chair. Total cost of about $5,000. However, upon hearing about the purchase, my husband is furious. He says he had no idea I had saved so much money and that I should have consulted him before spending $5,000. I asked what difference it made if it was my own accrued fun money and not our joint funds, and he insisted that my accumulating this amount without telling him was a form of financial infidelity. He says he lost trust in me and doesn't know what else I might be hiding. He is demanding that I return the items I purchased and deposit most of the funds to our joint account. He wants to make a new rule that fun money accounts can't accumulate more than $2,000 and that any excess goes back into the joint account. A rule that would obviously favor him as a person who spends most of his allotment each month instead of saving up for anything bigger. I feel like I'm being punished for being more of a day-to-day saver than spender. It wouldn't occur to me to demand to know how much my husband has in his fun money account or to try to micromanage what he spends it on. I wasn't hiding anything deliberately. He never asked about it until I made the purchases. Still, maybe I should have been more transparent about my plans. So, am I the asshole? Miscellaneous info: husband and I each have our own office/hobby room in the house, so it's not like the gaming setup was going in a space that he uses. I don't usually game when my husband is home unless he's already busy doing something else. My biggest block of gaming time is typically when he's off playing golf. Also, I run 40 to 50 miles a week, so it's not like I'm generally sedentary. I can't think of a good reason why he would object to me gaming or having a nice gaming setup in my own space in the house. Oh my god, you run a marathon every week? That is a champion effort right there. It doesn't make any sense in my head why he would think that this is financial infidelity and why you would be hiding more things from him. When he married you, he's been with you for 10 years, he knows exactly what you're like. One can only wonder if he's projecting in this instance, because it's not normal. This is a serious overreaction from something that should not be a big deal at all. You've put gaming on hold for 10 years? You want to upgrade your setup now? But instead of him reacting like a normal person, he's blowing up at you and accusing you of cheating. It's either that or he wants extra money week in, week out, and this is his way of forcing you to give him that extra money because you're not a spender like him. And I don't know which one is more likely in this circumstance, but I don't think you're an asshole for your reaction to this. I don't think you should have been more transparent about your plans. He knows you. He knows what you're like. Why would you need to be more transparent? Is there no trust in this relationship? Why doesn't he trust you? With that said, I'm just gonna have to go with not the asshole for this. What is his problem? In the comments, LostDragon05 says, not the asshole. He sounds super controlling and greedy. My wife and I manage our finances in a similar way. She spends her money on whatever she wants, and I blow mine on outdoor stuff and video games. We have joint checking and savings for household expenses, kids, vacations, etc. I'd sit him down and tell him how he chooses to spend his own money is his business, and how you spend yours is your business. He agreed to this arrangement and doesn't get to change the rules because he chooses to manage his own money differently than you, and you aren't going to return anything because he's acting like a spoiled man-child who didn't get a new toy when you did. OP responds, I actually had or have a lot more than 5k saved. We have had this arrangement for a few years, and I typically only spend about $500 of my allotted $1,500 per month. Maybe a bit more some months if I need to replace my running shoes, buy other clothes, or have any outings with friends planned like concerts, but in that range. So if you were sick for a few weeks and didn't spend any fun money, by the next month it would go over his 2k limit, and he would get $1,000 of your fun money as punishment for you not spending it all right away? The over amount is literally less than 2 months' worth. That is insane. The fact that he has never had more than 2k in his fun account shows he is stupid with money and spends it constantly. He is being greedy and throwing around words like infidelity to try to corner you into feeling like the bad guy. I think you really might need to run a background check to see if he's in debt. You need to do some checking, OP. It could be that he's controlling, or the issue could be that he is in debt. If he's overspent his allotment and has run up credit card debt too, he may be looking for a way to pay it off. Also, his throwing around words like infidelity worries me. People often project. I'm not saying anything is going on, but if he's spending more than he should and running up debt, wouldn't that truly be financial infidelity? Especially if he's spending it on a friend group. Also, I think you challenged his view of you. Your other hobbies are quiet ones, more solitary in nature. Gaming can be quite a social hobby depending on how you do it. Suddenly, you appear financially and socially independent to him. But yeah, obviously not the asshole. But also, do not be bullied into changing the agreement. Do look into his finances. John Bennett Palm says, not the asshole. This isn't a money issue. It's a control issue. Seems like you've spooked him by showing that you can quietly amass funds out of sight. You are making a good income and have few expenses, so 5k should not be that big of a deal regardless of the circumstance. The only reason it is because your spouse thinks that he should have a say in your spending. Red freedom. I'm not saying that this is abusive behavior. It could be something else, but this is a thing that abusers do. Better to nip it in the bud. Do not agree to the new 2k limit. Push back. It's funny that he's accusing you of financial infidelity when he's trying to manipulate you into handing over the money that you saved. This is a naked money grab, not the asshole. OP replies, yes, it does feel like he's trying to change the rules and make me feel guilty about not spending all my extra money right away. However, this is one of the main reasons I thought separate discretionary accounts was a good idea. Ironically, I thought it would prevent arguments about what we should be spending on or saving. Update. My husband finally calmed down enough to have a conversation with me. As many others who provided comments suggested, it wasn't really about the money, but a window into larger issues in our relationship. Essentially, my husband has been feeling increasingly unhappy with me for a while for the following reasons. In general, he feels that he's a lot more committed to his career development than I am to mine. It's true that although we currently have about the same income, the ceiling for his field, finance, is a lot higher than the one for mine, tech/software dev. He's currently in an executive training program, and I'm decidedly not. He is feeling resentful that he is having to work long hours in a high-pressure environment, while I get to work primarily at home doing something that is fun and fairly easy for me, and I'm not stretching myself to do more. He's concerned that over time these resentments are going to build, and that I'm not going to end up pulling my weight financially if he takes huge leaps in his career and I don't. He remarked that since getting back into gaming a few months ago, I've been putting a bit less effort into cooking. I do nearly all the cooking because I work at home and have an easier schedule. It's true that I've been fixing simpler meals, things like grilled chicken salads or chili with cornbread, instead of elaborate meals with fussier foods and several sides. He has also noticed that I haven't been doing the elaborate table settings that I used to, with flowers on the table, fancy placemats, etc. Honestly, I didn't realize he noticed or cared about this, but apparently he does. Acts of service are one of his main love languages, so overall, he's feeling a little neglected because of this. He also feels that I'm not putting enough effort into my appearance, not in terms of weight and body, I'm a long-distance runner and slim, but in terms of things like clothes, hair, etc. It's true that I've never paid much attention to these things. Given that I'm at home in tech, the standard for appearances is extremely low, and I far exceed that. I tend to buy simple, practical clothes at places like Target and Walmart, don't wear much makeup, and keep my hair in a simple ponytail. I do glam up a lot more for date nights and other dressy occasions, but most days he comes home from work and finds me in a t-shirt and yoga pants with no makeup, and he wants me to make more of an effort. The bottom line is that because of all these things, he's starting to notice other women. Says he hasn't cheated, he's just noticing other people because he's regularly disappointed in me. In particular, given that he works in finance, there are a good number of very career-oriented, Type A women who manage to have fantastic bodies, be effortlessly polished and glam, and have more interesting hobbies. He also says that he feels horrible about all of this because he knows I'm a good person and that he's being judgmental, that it's not so much that I've changed as that his own goals and expectations have changed in the past couple of years. The financial infidelity part came into it because he feels I'm not really investing into myself and our relationship, thus cheating on our future, in a sense. He also says that he loves me enough to be honest. I do believe he isn't trying to be hurtful, I really had to drag this all out of him. That he doesn't want us to drift apart further, that he doesn't want to be angry and resentful, and he knows he is asking for a lot. I know that many on this sub might say that I should just tell him to take a hike and call my lawyer, but we've been married for 10 years, have invested a lot into the relationship, and I want to see if the marriage can be saved. So, a couple things. First, we did make an appointment with a marriage counselor and start next week. Also, I'm going to try to do at least some of the above. I'm not sure about making myself be more professionally ambitious when I'm already happy with my work-life balance, and we're already financially very comfortable, but I can at least try doing the other things. Return to spending more time on cooking and decor, and fix myself up a bit more when he's on his way home from work, now that I know that they are important to him. I also know that in the end, I may feel like I am just tiptoeing around and contorting myself to please him, but it won't cost me much. Certainly much less than a divorce, to try for a month or two and then see how we both feel, and I know that I would always regret it if I didn't try. So maybe not the update that you were expecting or hoping for, but that's where things are. And if folks continue to be interested, I can update further once we've started marriage counseling and once I can feel out how the changes are going. In the comments, more in depth of their relationship / what she wants / what he feels, apparently. To answer your questions, yes, we each currently make about 200k, so 400k between the two of us. And yes, his concern is that he's going to get promoted to a much higher salary executive position. He's currently being mentored and trained for such a position, which will pay 500k plus, and is due to be promoted in the next couple of years if all goes well with the mentoring program. And I'll fall behind in earnings. Granted, we don't need the money for anything as we don't have debt of any kind, don't have and aren't planning on having kids, and already have close to 1 million in retirement savings with 30 plus years left to work. But he's feeling like I'm going to be somehow riding his coattails, taking advantage of him, coasting while he just works harder and harder with longer and longer hours? All of the above, I suppose. In terms of meals, yes, I do all the prep, cooking, table setting, and cleanup. I do actually really enjoy it, and part of it is self-care for me, not just taking care of him. After all, I get to eat the food too. And as I work at home, I usually make enough that I can have food for lunch the next day too. I know this doesn't seem fair, and that others probably think that he should contribute more, but really it doesn't bother me at all. as long as he does enjoy and appreciate it. In terms of work, I'm usually done by 5 to 6 p.m, and these days he doesn't get home until about 9 p.m, so I wouldn't have to wear makeup and dressy clothes for work. I could just quickly change and fix my hair and makeup when he's on his way home. I don't think the clothes necessarily need to be designer. I can buy blouses and skirts and dresses at Target just as well as t-shirts and yoga pants. Or shop thrift stores or department store sales. I do agree that the women he is comparing me to probably don't wear fancy clothes and makeup at home. He's just seeing them in professional settings that require formal business dress. Anyway, I appreciate you saying I haven't done anything wrong here. Another commenter says that there is a difference between a preference and a boundary, and OP says, it's true that he did use the word boundary in our conversation where he revealed his unhappiness with me. As in, I have realized it's a boundary for me to be able to come home to a nicely dressed wife who has prepared a thoughtful meal. And yes, I do realize that completely misuses the word boundary. ShotShow2409 says, he's proposing that someone making $200K a year won't pull their weight financially? He's an idiot. I'd take my massive salary and leave. Don't let the sunk cost fallacy keep you with someone who doesn't respect you or even seem to like you. This is what is crazy to me. Like, dude, I wish I had OP's job. $200K in tech, work from home with good life balance, that's the dream. And then OP's husband is like, my work-life balance sucks, so yours should too. Hell no. He's upset that he's working in a high-stress executive environment and she doesn't have to. My dude, you don't have to either. It's a choice. I want to point out something. You keep saying his love language is acts of service, but what acts of service does he do for you? My love language is quality time and gifts. So I like to do things like figure out tickets to a show someone would like and go and see it with them, or just simply a DVD of a movie that I think they'd like. A gift that lets me spend time with them. It's how I express my love for people, and I feel appreciated when people do similar things for me in return. But if he is not giving acts of service, then bull effing shit is his love language acts of service. That's just his excuse to demand servility from you while offering you nothing in return. All I'm hearing is that he wants a homemaker, a trophy wife, and a career wife all in the same box while bringing nothing but his career to the table. He sees other women in his work atmosphere and thinks they got it all when I know plenty of executives who are complete messes when it comes to home life, but give an amazing front at work. Back up to the post, there is an edit. I need to call it a night, but once again, thank you to everyone for your responses. They were really eye-opening and helped me to see that I do deserve better than the way that I am being treated, and that the expectations my husband is laying out for me are unfair and unrealistic, especially as he isn't doing anything at all to make it easier for me to meet them or to show me that he appreciates my efforts and everything I do bring to the table. I am indeed conditioned to be very people-pleasing, and that is impacting what I think is reasonable here. I have a lot to think about, such as what do I really want here? What is going to make me happy, especially if I have to keep making myself smaller, metaphorically speaking, and contorting myself to please my husband? Do I really want to be in a marriage under those conditions? I think I'm really selling myself short if I just agree to most of what he demands. Still going to go to the marriage counseling appointment, but I think I will wait to make any other changes until we can get at least some professional input. Further update. So, the more I thought about it, the more his requests, demands, really, were sitting poorly with me. I decided to try a little experiment over the weekend to see what would happen if I tried to meet some of his demands. Not because I actually thought they were reasonable, but because I increasingly had the sense that the goalposts would just keep moving and that I was playing a losing game. So, Saturday morning, I went to the salon for a glow-up, haircut, fresh highlights, mani-pedi, and then went to the farmer's market to pick up fresh flowers for our table and assorted other gourmet ingredients. Saturday is usually our date night out, but I suggested we stay in so I could make us a special dinner, steakhouse style. Lobster bisque, bread basket with several types of rolls and savory muffins made from scratch, crab-stuffed mushrooms, filet mignon, au gratin potatoes, white chocolate mousse topped with raspberries. I wore a lavender, his favorite color on me, sheath dress, and high heels, and fully done hair and makeup. For all of that, I got a lukewarm "thanks, it was tasty," and a kiss on the cheek. Of course, I did all of the serving and the cleanup. Sunday, we usually go out, but he suggested that I make us brunch at home. So I made French press coffee, mimosas with fresh squeezed orange juice, Belgian waffles with a bananas Foster topping, eggs scrambled with parmesan and fresh herbs from our garden, roasted fingerling potatoes, and maple glazed bacon. I wore a blue sleeveless sundress, wedge sandals, again did my hair and makeup. Again, I got a "thanks, it's good," and no help with serving or cleanup. Afterwards, I asked if this is what he had in mind when he critiqued me before. He said that it was a start, but that I was acting very entitled for wanting credit for basic adulting. He then dropped a bomb that he was being so hard on me because he had realized lately I had a lot to make up for due to my being a low-value woman. I asked what on earth he meant by that, and he said that it was because I wasn't a virgin when we met. What? Keep in mind, we started dating at 21. Neither of us claimed to be virgins or stated that as an expectation. Except for very religious people, neither of us is. I don't think most 21-year-old college students are virgins. I was upfront with him then that I'd had 2 previous partners. My high school boyfriend, we went our separate ways when we went to different colleges in different parts of the country, and another boyfriend I'd had my first year of college. And that's it. Both committed relationships and nothing casual. He then went on to say that because of my low value, I was going to need to be making it up to him for the rest of my life, that I didn't deserve monogamy or equal treatment, and that I was lucky that anyone at all wanted to marry me, and that he's connected with someone from work, so if I wanted to keep him, I'd better step up. I told him it didn't sound like there was anything to keep if he no longer loved me, or even liked or respected me. I told him to leave, and he said he would gladly go to his girlfriend's place. I know so many people here insisted he was having an affair, and I just didn't want to see it, that his complaints were really all part of a campaign to distance himself from me. I feel so foolish for just thinking that he was going through a stressful time at work, or that he genuinely wanted to work on our marriage. Anyway, I have taken a week off from work to get my head together, have an appointment with a lawyer tomorrow, cancelled the marriage counseling appointment, but got a referral to an individual therapist who can do an intake session with me later in the week. He, and the girlfriend apparently, are coming this evening to get more of his clothes and things, so I have to brace myself for that. Also, please be assured that I do not think that I'm low value in any way. I let my husband make me think less of myself on some levels for a short time, but now I truly see that it was a him problem. Obviously, we don't share the same goals and values, and he has become someone that I don't recognize. I know the divorce won't be fun or easy, but I will be okay. Thank you all for helping me see that I was being played before I wasted too much more time in a marriage that was already over. In the comments, Freezer22 says, I know it's going to be rough, but I'm not going to say that I'm sorry you're dealing with this, because I'm on the other side of almost the exact same thing, and I promise you, life after getting rid of this man is going to be amazing. You are going to realize how much of your effort this leech was stealing from you, and it's going to feel like a huge weight has been lifted. The only regret you will have is that you didn't do it earlier. And OP replies, yeah, although it's been a rude shock, I'm actually glad things came to a head so quickly instead of getting dragged out. I'm glad he fessed up, in a sense anyway, before we actually started investing in marriage counseling. It has only been a couple of days since the big revelation and his departure, but I've already realized how soul-sucking the marriage had become and how much better off I am. Mine dragged it out over a whole year's partial separation, saying that he was having a mental health crisis while secretly living with his mistress and telling me he was in too fragile of a state. Lol. OP says, ugh, that's far worse. I'm so sorry. I know it would have been far worse for me if he had continued to drag it out. Excellent Ad says, holy F. I knew he was a dickhead, but to this level? Low-value woman? God, not the Andrew Tate phrasing, and him expecting everyone to be a virgin is such a weird thing. The good thing is that you got rid of that parasite, and you'll be better off without him. I'm happy you're moving forward and not letting it eat at you. And OP replies, yes, it seems like he fell down a toxic masculinity hole at some point fairly recently. retroactively punishing me for not being a virgin at the outset after a 12-year relationship, including 10 years of marriage, is just completely over the top. I even said, "So this person you connected with at work is actually a virgin?" "Well, she was," he said, with a smirk. "So, virgin or not, someone who would sleep with a married colleague is higher value than me? Unless he lied about his marital status and situation, which I wouldn't put past him." "She was. So is he actively admitting infidelity now?" OP says, "Yes, he admitted he has been having an affair for several months. He kept trying to say that it doesn't really count as cheating because I'm low value, so the standards are different." Baxter Has No Teeth says, "Good for you for recognizing that what he was saying has nothing to do with you and everything to do with him wanting to end your marriage. What is wrong with people that they can't just say, 'I want a divorce'? Anyway, I'm so sorry that it ended like this. Stay strong." OP replies, "Yeah, I really wish he would have just said that he fell in love with someone else and wanted a divorce. Would have hurt, but I know that people can just grow in different directions, especially after marrying young. At least this way, he has successfully made me not even really hate him, he's not even worthy of such strong emotions, but feel sorry for him and be glad that we are over." Additional update: financial infidelity accusation / cheating soon-to-be ex-husband. Hi all. I wasn't going to post another update, at least not this soon, but I've gotten dozens of DMs and messages asking if I'm okay and how things are going. So this is specifically in response to those who were checking in on me. To recap my story, I first posted a couple of weeks ago that my husband accused me of financial infidelity after I spent $5,000 of my own fun money allotment on a gaming computer, desk, and chair, even though my spending was within our agreed-upon rules. He subsequently admitted that he wasn't really upset about the gaming setup, but about what he perceived as a lack of professional ambition. I'm a senior software dev, and we make the same salary at the moment. Plus, he wanted me to cook more elaborate meals, put more effort into home decor, and dress up more for him. Finally, about a week later, he accused me of being low value due to not being a virgin when we met. At age 21, neither was he, and he never once previously criticized that in our 12 years together, and told me that he was having an affair with a younger coworker who had been a virgin. Gross, I know. Then he moved out, and in with her. Folks have been asking me this week how things went with him picking up his stuff, meeting with my lawyer, etc., so wanted to share those updates for anyone interested. So he was supposed to come get his stuff on Tuesday evening, a couple days ago, but told me at the last minute he couldn't because Amy, his girlfriend, wasn't feeling well. Some people called in the comments, but yes, she's pregnant apparently. He told me this on text, so I have proof of the affair in writing now. It's not just his word against mine. Anyway, I didn't want him to keep jerking me around on the schedule, for whatever reason, so I told him I'd pack his stuff up for him and arrange for movers. I think it's better that way. I really didn't want him or them in the house. I already had arranged for a friend to come over on Tuesday when he and Amy were supposed to come by, so the two of us spent the evening packing his clothes and other personal effects. The movers came yesterday and got the boxes and furniture items that he wanted. He didn't want much, just the stuff from his home office and dresser, as apparently Amy's apartment is small. I provided a detailed inventory and photos of everything, which he approved, so he can't say that I broke or otherwise ruined his stuff. After that, yesterday I went to the clinic to get STD tests. Won't have the results for a week or so, but thankfully I haven't had any symptoms. And met with my lawyer, who said that I have a good case for grounds of adultery and mental cruelty if I want or need to go that route. At a minimum, it's leverage to get him to settle quickly and quietly. I also locked down all the finances within the parameters provided by the lawyer so that he can't empty our joint funds or take anything that belongs to me, change account beneficiaries, and all that fun stuff. I changed the locks to the house too. I decided to take the advice of some of the commenters and am getting rid of the bed and other bedroom furniture that I shared with him. I'm donating it. Someone is coming this afternoon to haul it all off, and I'm going to completely redecorate the bedroom to my own taste. That will take a bit, staying in one of the guest rooms in the meantime. I'm also taking a spa weekend away, leaving tomorrow morning and back Sunday night just to get a change of scenery before I have to go back to work next week. And yes, Even after buying the gaming setup, I have plenty of fun money left in my account to afford my lawyer's retainer and redoing the bedroom as well as my getaway with plenty left over. Here's to frugality when it counts. Those are the main updates for the moment. I'm doing better than expected, I think, and realizing more day by day that it really wasn't a good marriage, at least not for the last couple of years when he started expecting me to do everything around the house and all the other emotional labor of running our lives outside of work with no help and little to no gratitude. Amy sure is going to have her hands full. Edit. Once again, I cannot thank everyone here enough. I need to get ready for my spa weekend away, so apologies in advance if I have not responded to your comment or DM, but I am really grateful for all the support and encouragement. Hopefully there won't be any more notable updates for a while. I really just want a smooth and easy divorce and to get on with my life, so please keep your fingers crossed for me. In the comments, EasyTrain2030 says, she's going to have some big shoes to fill. I bet she won't be a domestic goddess, being that she has an MBA and is career-driven. Plus, she's pregnant. Babies take a lot of energy. I suspect he won't have that pristine home to come home to and a dose of reality when he's going to have to pay a rent or a mortgage. He's going to have to handle his own budget now. We'll see who is low value then. I'm glad you're doing well. Enjoy your spa weekend. And OP replies, right? I mean, if she's in the executive training program with him, I assume she also makes $200K, but even with $400K between the two of them, it's not going to stretch as far as one might think if they have to pay for a bigger apartment, or mortgage in our HCOL, daycare for an infant, or probably a nanny given the long working hours required in finance, 2 high-end professional wardrobes, etc. Not to mention saving for college. I assume they still want private schools. The list goes on. Not going to be a lot of money or time for golf for the foreseeable future. Salt Respect 339 says, a baby is such a big stressor for any relationship. Not before long, they will have to manage living together instead of just having a nice little work romance in a small apartment in addition to their demanding careers, a divorce, and a newborn keeping them up at night and needing attention over work and romance. Sounds as if he's going to be doing a lot of adulting himself very soon. OP says, also, he was hardcore child-free before. I didn't want kids either, but he was especially militant about it. I mean, maybe he changed his mind, but it doesn't seem like this was exactly a planned pregnancy. Plus, he can't even be bothered to put his own laundry in the hamper or to put a dish in the dishwasher. How is he going to deal with an infant? Anyway, not really my problem, and I guess he'll figure it out, or not. Brain124 says, take this piece of trash for everything. What a low-value guy he is. Also, please make sure you control the narrative of how everything went down, since you likely have a lot of mutual friends who will be curious as to what the hell is going on. Let them know that he is a cheating slimeball. OP replies, so far I've mostly been telling my own friends and family. I did reach out to his parents and brother with the following. Hi, you may have heard that soon-to-be ex and I are separating. I'm not sure what he's told you, but I found out a few days ago that he's been seeing a coworker for a few months and that she is now pregnant. So clearly, our marriage cannot continue. He has left our home and has moved in with her. Not asking you to take sides, of course, but I wanted to make sure you knew in case you were looking for him. Happy to talk if you like, but again, of course I understand if you choose to support him through this, especially in light of the upcoming addition to the family. Take care. I figure it's up to him to tell his friends. I'm friendly with some of his older friends, college buddies, but don't really have conversations with them without him, and his newer friends are from his workplace, so I'm sure he's already spun his own narrative there. Damn, I wish there was another update to this. I want to know how he is handling that situation at home with that woman. Unfortunately, in the last few years, we have seen those guys come out of the woodwork with the Andrew Tate narrative of, oh my god, low-value woman, yeah, it's okay to cheat on them because they bring no value to the relationship, so it doesn't count. She is required to be a virgin in order to be worthy of time and attention. If anything has entered her body, she is used. She is not worthy of being your partner or anyone's partner. I wish all men with that thought process the very best of luck in life, especially this one that has destroyed his marriage and is now going to face the harsh realities of life with this woman. Best of luck to the both of them. It doesn't sound like it's going to go well. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to end today's story. I do hope you enjoyed. This was an extra long one for you guys because I've been away for a bit. I was on holiday, and I am now back to our usual scheduled posting. Let me know what you think of this all down in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.